What is export and import? Have you ever wondered how a product made in one country ends up being sold on the other side of the world? Imagine a coffee producer in Indonesia growing some of the finest coffee beans in the world. One day, a company in the United States decides to buy 10 tons of that coffee. When the Indonesian company sells and ships the coffee overseas, that is called an export. For the American company buying the coffee, the exact same transaction is called an import. In other words, export and import are simply two sides of the same trade. For the seller, it is an export. For the buyer, it is an import. Every day, millions of transactions like this take place around the world, moving goods across oceans, borders, and continents. Without exports and imports, many of the products we use every day would never reach our homes. International trade is what connects producers and consumers around the world, making the global economy possible. Why do countries export and import? If countries can produce goods themselves, why do they still import products from other countries? Imagine the United States wants coffee. Coffee grows best in tropical climates, but much of the United States does not have ideal conditions for large-scale coffee production. Indonesia, on the other hand, has the perfect climate. Rather than producing coffee at a higher cost, America imports it from Indonesia. At the same time, Indonesia may need advanced machinery, technology, or equipment produced more efficiently in other countries. This is why international trade exists. Each country focuses on what it does best and trades for the things it needs. Today, the United States is one of the world's largest importers. Countries like China and the United States are among the world's largest exporters by value. Trade allows countries to access products more efficiently and often at lower costs. International trade helps countries get what they need while focusing on what they do best. How are international trade transactions paid? If the buyer and seller are thousands of miles apart, how do they trust each other? Imagine an exporter sells goods worth $100,000 to a buyer overseas. A simple question immediately appears. Who pays first? If the buyer pays first, they worry the goods may never arrive. If the seller ships first, they worry they may never get paid. To solve this problem, international trade developed several payment methods. One method is advance payment, where the buyer pays before shipment. Another is open account, where the seller ships before receiving payment. There is also the letter of credit, commonly called an LC. In this method, banks help guarantee that both parties fulfill their obligations. The payment method chosen often depends on trust, experience, and the relationship between buyer and seller. In international trade, trust is important, but a secure payment system is even more important. What are the basic requirements for export and import? Can anyone simply find a foreign buyer and start exporting immediately? Imagine you receive a large order from overseas. The goods are ready. The buyer is ready. The shipment is ready. But there is one problem. Your documents are incomplete. In international trade, paperwork is often just as important as the cargo itself. Businesses usually need legal registration, commercial documents, shipping documents, invoices, and customs paperwork. Some countries also require additional certifications depending on the product. For example, food products, medical products, and certain consumer goods may need special approvals before entering a country. A single missing document can delay a shipment for days, weeks, or even months. In international trade, small paperwork mistakes can become very expensive problems. What do FOB, CFR, CIF, DAP, and DDP mean? How can three letters change the price of an international shipment by thousands of dollars? Imagine a machine is sold for $10,000. Who pays the ocean freight? Who pays for insurance? Who handles customs clearance? Who pays import duties? These responsibilities are defined by a set of international trade rules called Incoterms. FOB stands for free on board. The seller is responsible until the goods are loaded onto the vessel. CFR or CNF stands for cost and freight. The seller pays the transportation cost to the destination port. CIF stands for cost, insurance, and freight. In addition to freight, the seller also provides cargo insurance. DAP stands for delivered at place. The seller delivers the goods to the agreed destination, while import duties are usually paid by the buyer. DDP stands for Delivered Duty Paid. The seller takes responsibility for almost everything, including import duties and taxes, until the goods reach the buyer. These terms determine who pays, who manages the shipment, and who carries the risk. 3 simple letters can decide who is responsible for thousands of dollars in international trade costs. The documents that move global trade. Imagine a container worth hundreds of thousands of dollars arrives at the port. The buyer is waiting. The seller has already been paid. But the cargo cannot be released. Why? Because one important document is missing. In international trade, goods alone are not enough. Documents travel with the cargo and often become just as important as the products themselves. The first document is the commercial invoice. This is the official bill that shows who is buying, who is selling, what products are being traded, and how much they are worth. Next comes the packing list. This document describes the contents of the shipment, including quantities, weights, and dimensions. Then there is one of the most important shipping documents in the world, the bill of lading, often called the BL. When cargo is shipped by sea, the bill of lading serves as proof that the shipping line has received the goods for transportation. In many cases, possession of the bill of lading determines who has the right to claim the cargo. But not all shipments travel by sea. When cargo is transported by air, a different document is used. It is called the Air Waybill, or AWB. It serves a similar purpose but is specifically designed for air freight. Depending on the product and destination country, additional documents may also be required. These may include a certificate of origin, an insurance certificate, a fumigation certificate, or inspection reports. Without the correct documents, even the most valuable cargo can become stuck at the port. International trade may look complicated, but it all comes down to moving goods, money, and documents safely across borders. The more you understand the process, the easier it becomes to avoid costly mistakes and make better business decisions. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more export and import stories. In upcoming episodes, we'll discuss real shipment cases, special documents required for specific commodities, customs clearance procedures, cargo claims, and common trade mistakes that every importer and exporter should avoid. See you in the next shipment.